The rise of school sports first gained traction in the 1920s and 30s, as newly established high school sports associations formalized rules and promoted a sense of competition across the nation. The formation of Little League in 1939 led continued growth through the 40s and 50s, while the Civil Rights Movement and the Title IX Act helped to desegregate teams and usher in female participation, respectively. Today, however, not all students have equal opportunity to participate in and excel in sports. Students from low-income families are 20% less likely to participate in youth athletics compared to their higher-income peers. This is due to a variety of factors that can be analyzed through the sociological paradigm of conflict theory, the perspective that society is inherently unequal due to competition for limited resources. The costs associated with youth sports present a significant barrier for many students, particularly those from low-income backgrounds. Like most other youth extracurriculars, sports come with a variety of costs, whether fees, uniform, or gear. Even in public school sports, the pay-to-play model has become increasingly common. According to the Aspen Institute's Project Play, families spend an average of $883 per child per year on youth sports, and that number is often much higher in elite or club-level programs. For low-income families, these expenses add up quickly. Participation fees alone cost an average of $126 per athlete, with one study finding that $100 fees resulted in 10% reduction in sports participation, and that this decrease doubled when fees were $200. On top of that, there are other hidden costs: shoes, athletic gear, tournament fees, and training camps.
So in terms of equipment, the most important thing would probably be our balls that we use. And for us, a lot of our practice balls were so worn out that there was no grip on them anymore, and so it was just really hard to practice with. I remember a couple of times whenever we would go to like an away game and we would like begin warming up, the other team would give us some of their balls to practice with, and I remember a couple of my teammates would joke about trying to take them because their practice balls were like even better than our game balls.
Another often overlooked factor is the risk of injury, which doesn't come without cost. Without access to health insurance or flexible time off, many parents hesitate to enroll their kids in high-contact or high-risk sports. A 2021 study published in the National Library of Medicine found that fear of injury and medical costs was a key deterrent to youth sports participation in low-income communities. These factors mean that students miss out on competitive opportunities simply because they can't afford their associated costs. And while scholarships or subsidies may sometimes help, they often go to top-performing athletes or aren't widely advertised, leaving many students unsupported.
So because our water polo team practiced in the same pool as the city swim team, we often had to share the entire pool. And the thing with water polo is that when you practice, you kind of need the entire pool to either run scrimmages or do different drills. And so having to split that one pool into like 4 different kind of groups made it really difficult to practice.
Beyond the direct costs, youth from under-resourced neighborhoods often face limited access to quality facilities and coaching. While affluent communities may boast private training centers and year-round club teams, lower-income areas may struggle to provide basic resources for athlete hopefuls. Even when these facilities exist, they may not be well maintained or available after school hours. Furthermore, some students may lack the transportation means to access facilities, club training sites, or even games.
So even before COVID, there was already a shortage of bus drivers, but after COVID, it was even worse. And so I remember after COVID would be my junior and my senior year. During my junior year, a lot of the times the athletic director of the school would have to help carpool us because she had a big car. She could fit seven of us inside of it. And so I remember if there was no bus driver, she would take the 7 of us starting or playing. And if you weren't a starter and you couldn't make it to the game and had nobody to help carpool you there, you just simply wouldn't be able to play.
Coaching is another key component to high school athletics. Athletes in wealthier districts may benefit from experienced, certified coaches who provide specialized training and are supported by more robust salaries. In contrast, low-income schools may rely on volunteers or teachers who may lack direct knowledge in the sport they are overseeing.
Over the course of my 4 years playing water polo, I had three different coaches. My first coach is actually the only coach who had experience playing water polo. My second coach was our school's PE teacher. He had no experience playing, and my coach for my junior and senior year was the coach for both the boys and the girls team, and he also had no experience playing water polo.
The result? A disparity in skill development, mentorship, and overall experience, factors that directly impact a student's confidence and athletic trajectory. Many believe that athletic talent alone determines success. The reality is far more complicated. Only 6 NCAA Division I sports offer full scholarships, yet these sports also tend to be some of the most expensive to pursue competitively. On the other hand, some of the most inexpensive sports, such as track and field, flag football, or skateboarding, often offer fewer scholarships or limited professional opportunities. In this way, higher opportunities are skewed by economic barriers. Moreover, the pathway to collegiate athletics often begins long before college through exposure to elite tournaments or recruiting showcases. These experiences require both financial investment and time flexibility, resources that low-income families may lack.
There's a couple of opportunities that I had to miss out on because of financials. One big one that I can recall is that I wanted to play for a club, but I couldn't. And the thing that the club teams would always do every year is they would go to Junior Olympics, which is like this huge event where different clubs all across the country come and play. And it's a multi-day event that is typically in a different country. And because I wasn't able to afford it, I wasn't able to go.
These systemic inequalities, whether in cost, facilities, or future opportunities, closely align with conflict theory, which views institutions like education or sports as places where existing inequalities are reproduced. It's easy to view youth athletics as meritocratic pathways to success. In reality, they mirror and enforce broader socioeconomic divides. Inevitably, in youth sports, the ability to play, to be seen, and to succeed is determined not by talent alone, but by those who can afford to compete.
I think for a lot of students, sports would be their second or third priority, and so for a lot of those students who don't prioritize sports, they aren't able to get as good as those who have support from their parents, who are good enough to receive scholarships. And for me, I think water polo has been like something that's impacted me a lot and been a big part of my journey into who I am today. And I think it would be a good thing for students to be able to participate in athletics and receive equal opportunities in them.